Done it again. Hackathon time. They look miserable, don't they? Ah.
The only justification for it not being a yellow, or maybe not justification, but the reason it wasn't is because Celtic are refereed to a completely different standard to everybody else in Scottish football, and officials are absolutely terrified
What a load of
to give big
nonsense.
decisions against them,
What a
to
load
the
of
point where
nonsense.
it's not even just marginal decisions. It's, 70-30 against Celtic, it's 65-35 against Celtic.
What a
And
load
the
of
referee, whether
nonsense.
it's conscious or subconscious, will try and find a way not to give the big decision against Celtic. It's as
Oh,
simple as that.
Jesus.
And for me, yesterday, what I saw with Walsh is he refereed us instinctively. So he went with his gut. He was quick. He was decisive. Whether you agree with all his decisions in terms of the punishments he handed out is maybe another question. But you look at the length of time it took him to give the penalty against Ralston. It's almost a long, reluctant whistle. You can actually hear the consequences churning through in his mind. Do I need to give this penalty? If I give this penalty, is it going to be a second yellow?
Give it straight
If I
away.
don't give the penalty, will
He
VAR
went to
intervene?
VAR. VAR gave it.
You can almost hear that happening, that mental thought process going on in his head. And yet with Asgard, before we really even understood what had happened, the red card was being brandished and that decision goes Celtic's way. It's a joke. And yesterday was just laughable, some of the decisions that Walsh made.
Trev, do you think it'll ever get to that point? I mean, I remember all the years ago, Celtic initiated a referee strike because of
It wasn't
whatever
just
was going
Celtic.
on there. It was a long time ago.
It wasn't just Celtic. So get over it. Get over it. It wasn't just Celtic. Completely now.
Someone would need to fill me in, but I can't see it coming to that because you know what would happen in my eyes if Rangers were to do that. They would come down with the maximum fines, the maximum disciplinary rules against us. They would do everything they possibly can, dot points, you name it, and just start papping us at competitions.
Paranoia.
We would need to go further. I don't know if UEFA, I know they are, don't laugh at the back, I know they're as dodgy and corrupt as the rest of them in FIFA, but where do you go after that to actually start challenging so everyone's got to be liable for something, mate. Even the CEO of a company is liable by the board members. The board members are liable by the shareholders, etc., etc. Everyone's got.
Can you believe a Rangers fan talking about CEOs and liability, and especially when they went into liquidation, died, and never paid the face paint, or never paid 340 businesses that they would owe money to, and never paid the tax man? You couldn't give them a brass neck with a blowtorch.
Got a boss. So we need to, there's surely an avenue we go further and go, right, I'm not going to say the corruption word yet either, Martin, like you said the other day, but it's getting closer and closer to that with evidence. Evidence just says it all, doesn't it? How can you go that far and it not be corrupt? It's just absolutely shocking that they rely on decisions like that to actually get them over the line. And enough's enough.
Can you remember back in the days in the 1990s where the Rangers fans would be the one that said that Celtic were paranoid? Celtic were paranoid because the Celtic says that the referees were all Masons. This is just quality, isn't it? This is like karma for the 1990s.
In terms of these decisions, Ash, right, and I'm not going to name names because they're just not. There is one referee who I know for a fact is a dyed-in-the-wool Rangers supporter. Right?
Wait, whoa. Did you hear that? He just said he knows for a fact there's a referee, there's a dyed-in-the-wool Rangers fan. Let's hear that again.
Right? But puts his allegiances, because I'm just not. There is one referee who I know for a fact is a dyed-in-the-wool Rangers supporter.
There you go. There's your corruptness thrown right out the window. You've even just, if you were, I wouldn't want him to be my lawyer, because if you're a lawyer in court and that's the case that you're going with, and then you come up with that kind of evidence,
right? But puts his allegiances to the side when he's refereeing, goes out there and tries to do his job, and he is a referee, by the way, that I guarantee you. Everybody in our comments would go, no, he's not a Rangers supporter, because look at the decisions that he gives against us. And he's been named quite a lot by Rangers supporters as being very pro-Celtic, right? What is causing Celtic to get these decisions?
The fact that Rangers are maybe just shite.
And getting a game at Everton. So 100% right. Can't argue with any of your points, Gary. And welcome to the show again.
Yeah, and you mentioned their two players in the middle of the park are their two captains, mate. You know, well, they could have been playing for us.
What?
Exactly.
But we didn't go and get them. We didn't go and get them. Yeah. And
Exactly.
then go there. They must have a capsule they walk through because they seem to change, mate, and forget where they've came from. But well, I get it. I get what you're saying. We need more. I'll be polite, guys. What you're saying is we need more blue noses in the team. Yeah.
Aye.
Staunch.
Aye, exactly. Ox. I mean, it's heartbreaking. I mean, I feel, I honestly see when I sit and watch it now, you know what I mean, and I see the decisions, and as I says to you, I've got a foot in your camp now, Ox, you know what I mean, and I have done since 2012 after what they tried, because they try to kill you, not just you, they try to destroy everything, our culture. You know what I mean? And it's still going on to this day, you know what I mean? But that Lywell or Lawwell, whatever you want to call him, he just stands there and smirks. And he says, well, what he's going to do about it? That's exactly it. What are you going to do about it? No, I just read there online that, or on that follow there, that seemingly that Patrick Stewart's went in and had a meeting with that referees, him that runs that referees. And what's he going to say to him? You know what I mean? See if they came out and attacked two referees and went and straight, every decision has went for them. Everything.
Listen to this stat. AK, tell me a stat about the referees, about the red cards. I don't know if we picked up on that, guys, because they're too nice at a team, mate, but that's another subject I'm sure we'll come to once we get the game finished.
What they would do with it, decision making very poor, and when we try to push long ball, my goodness gracious, you mentioned Suter there. I think he pushed the ball up and it went straight out of the park.
And then we'll get two more major talking points because we know how bad we were. We were off all over the park, mate. Asgard, who'd been very poor, if we're honest, never affected the game, attacking or defending. I couldn't work out where he was playing because he sort of plays between these lines on the left-hand side of the pitch, mate.
Take this one.
And if he doesn't get the ball, he offers very little. I know he's a skillful player, and
why would that referee do that?
I don't know, mate.
Of course we don't.
We wasted some money. Right, okay, just a quick shout out. Better do some housekeeping here.
And that, by the way, it's not just them. It's happening all over football. We appear to be the victims of this because I don't see our team doing that amount of body checks. God. I just don't see it.
Oh man!
But I might be biased there.
Too nice at a team, mate. But that's another subject I'm sure we'll come to.
Yeah, I think they just scored before the big chance for Chermiti, but that was.
Careful, Mickey. I don't know what you think.
What?
It possibly could have taken a slight nick. I mean, McGregor hit it well, but it was central and it was pretty much, straight at Butland. But it looked a wee bit, he was unsighted, and it was the pace of the ball that beat him because he seemed to kind of dive past it or it went through his horns. It possibly, I don't know about Suter. I mean, the way the defenders is these days, they need to put their horns behind their back because they don't want to silly it and make themselves bigger to give away a penalty. And
a bit like
I think Suter's just looking at the ball and he's trying to react, but he didn't have the time to react. But
it's interesting because the Celtic player had his hands in like this, but it was still a penalty. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that Rangers fan meltdown because these are just Monday night meltdowns, isn't it?